I hope you saw my pre-warning. If you didn't, this is about Strump, and I'm not sure how it's going to go. And I might have to pause it because there's so much. I might have to pause it whilst I think about the other stuff I need to talk about or intend to talk about. I haven't even counted the days. I'm sure you are. I think today's day is today. Oh my God, it's only day 11. Unfucking believable. Only day 11. I'll come to the terrible plane and helicopter crash shortly. First of all, he did a presser just before this, a few hours before, on the same day, talking about he's going to reopen Guantanamo Bay. And I heard or watched somewhere about Guantanamo Bay being it's in Cuba, isn't it? It's on the edge of Cuba. See, I haven't looked. It's such a long time since that's come up. I haven't looked. I'm going to look before I carry on. Yes, on the edge of Cuba. And the problem with that, not the problem with that, but the idea of that is that the people that will be held there will not be on American soil, and so will not be protected by the humanitarian protections that they have in America, if indeed they do now. I don't think anybody's got that now. So he's talking about reopening that and making this, making these people that they're rounding up to deport into really hardened criminals. And I very much doubt the people out there who were picking your crops, harvesting your crops, who were servicing your hotel rooms, who were serving you coffee, who were working in your hospitals, who were doing all of the tasks that are considered menial and won't be done by other people. I very much doubt that they're hardened criminals at the same time. And there's going to be some people put there in detention under terrifying circumstances, I am sure, who will be very badly treated, I am sure. What I'm not sure about is who are gonna man these camps, because this isn't going to be the only detention camp. There will be others. I heard somebody talking about there will be one in Texas. There will be one. They're not going to be. It's not just going to be Guantanamo. It'll be in other places. There'll be detention camps, because there's been a lot of pushback from. There was a pushback from Mexico. There was a pushback from Brazil. I think Mexico then capitulated and allowed some in, as long as they weren't shackled. Oh, I've got a cat behind me. What are you doing? Hmm? What are you doing? So that is all going on. And then that gets hidden behind another piece of distraction. There's the memo that went out to 2 million federal employees, telling them, offering them a fake buyout. The memo came from DOGE, which is the office which is headed by Elon Musk and Voight. Is it Voight? The Project 2025 guy. So the memo goes out freezing federal funds and offering buyouts to these people. And then the memo gets rescinded. It hasn't gone through the normal process, allegedly. Obviously, in my mind's eye, Musk has got ahead of himself, or has just done what he wants to do, which he's going to do. That is not going to go down well, because the thing for me is that you've got several narcissists all supposedly on the team, and well, narcissists aren't team players. It's all about me, me, me. They're not team players. So but we know it's a clusterfuck. We know that. So that memo was then rescinded. But meanwhile, on Reddit, a lot of federal employees had come together to talk about what had happened. And these are people that were already struggling and thinking, oh God, I'm going to have to look for another job. Before the memo, it had, obviously, it was obvious to them that they didn't want to work for this regime. So they were already down on their, down and looking for other employment. And all of a sudden they came together and realised that there were enough of them that they wanted to push back, and they started pushing back and deciding, well, fuck you, we're not leaving. We won't leave. Because they realised that actually, as a community, they are much bigger than the regime. So there's that going on. And then I just want to check, because I wrote some notes, very scrappy notes. It's the chairman of the FAA, Michael Whitaker, stepped down on the 20th after a run-in with Musk, who had publicly called for him to resign. And he resigned. He'd only been in the post a year, but he resigned. So at the time of this helicopter and plane crash, losing, how many deaths? I'd written how many deaths. There were 67 killed. There wasn't anybody, there's no oversight, nobody watching, nobody in charge, nobody to take control, nobody to manage the disaster. And apparently in the control tower, because of the cutbacks, because they'd frozen recruitment and were making cutbacks, all of this since the 20th, in the control room, in the control tower, there was a controller who was managing the job of two people. So he was seeing planes in and out and dealing with helicopters, and normally that would be two people doing that. Now that's when I finished watching last night, which is now 10 hours ago. So I don't know what's come on since then. Meanwhile, Trump immediately decides to blame Obama. He blames Biden for allowing in the, DEI, diversity, equality, and I'm not sure what the I stands for. I'm sorry. But he starts blaming that and suggesting that there were people working in the control tower who weren't fit to be working, who were probably disabled, completely misunderstanding that if you've got people who are less able working in your workplace or for your company, it's not, they're not going to be necessarily in the control tower. They might be working somewhere else. They're not all up there in their wheelchairs. So he took this opportunity, politicized it, ran down Biden and Obama, which is what he always does, blamed everybody but Trump, and completely overstepped the mark with how long it takes to investigate these things. But we have opinions and we're going to express them. That this is so typical of him. So typical of him. It's like, I've got an opinion, which means it must be right, so I'm going to tell you about it. He thinks he knows everything, and that's another problem with narcissists. He thinks he knows everything, so proceeds to tell us why it happened and blamed it on the liberal government, DEI stuff, and so 11 days. I can't believe 11 days. I do hope that there are no other air disasters in the offing as a result of what's gone on with the FAA and with control tower staff. I really hope that this isn't as a result of that. It's possible it is. If a guy was doing two jobs when he should have only been doing one, it's possible. But I hope that it's also just I can't think of the word, but it's just happened, and there's not going to be a string of events. But I read something earlier on in the week about Hitler ending democracy in 21 days, and I think it was 21 days, and I was thinking, and they're saying that he's trying to do the same, which is, Hitler's his hero. He likes Hitler. A lot of what's going on is very much like what happened with Hitler and the Nazi Party in the 30s. He can do this. He is doing this in the days that he's doing it. But the difference is now is that we're all watching and we're all aware and we can see it. So far, that's until he shuts down the places that can see him. But we're all seeing it, and there's enough of us seeing it. I think, back in the 30s, and we're talking what, 90 years ago, 85 years ago, 90 years ago, I can't count, 95 years ago, things will have happened, or decrees would have been passed, and you wouldn't have known about them just like that. There wouldn't have been a 24-hour, there wasn't 24-hour news. There wasn't all of that. So stuff had happened before you could do anything about it, and you didn't know what your a fellow man wanted to do about it, because you only knew the people around you and the people, in your local village. You didn't know what Joe Bloggs in the city over there wanted, or what this country was thinking. You didn't have any access to that. We all have access. I have access to what's going on in America. So, I'm sorry, America. This is just absolutely dreadful. And every day I remind myself how lucky I am. Every day I appreciate what I have. Every day I make sure to pay attention to what I have and reflect on what you no longer have, and think about what you're losing and what's being taken away from you. And at the moment, I don't see how that is going to change. I've started to watch some of, not all of, the confirmation hearings, and thinking, I can't believe Hesketh got through. And so I have watched some of the Robert F.K. Jr. and think, he's as mad as a fucking hatter, and as mad as he is, and the pressure that he's being put under, he'll get through. Maybe. But if Hesketh got through, then RFK Jr. is going to get through. I do understand it, because it's fixed, isn't it? It's corruption, it's fixed. Somebody's bought somebody, somebody's paid somebody. It's all about money. It's all about money. So I've left loads out. There's loads, and all those. And he's just a showman. Mr. Scrotus is just a fucking showman. That first presser in the new, he walked along a wide red carpet flanked by guys in uniform, and I thought, you're just copying Putin, but Putin looks like he knows what he's doing, and I hate to say this, but I think Putin's intelligent, and I don't think Trump is. I don't think he has half of Putin's intelligence. But this whole showman of walking along, it makes him feel so fucking grand. And that's what it's about. I'm the president of America. I feel really grand. But really, I have the emotional intelligence of a 7-year-old and the vocabulary of a 9-year-old. Because his vocabulary is terrible. Anyway, so that was it. That was my Strump rant. I hope it was ranty enough for you. I didn't swear too much. And I'm going to back off from it again because I know that some of you, I know Kathy and Janice, you're both sort of saying, I missed that, I liked that. Rachel, I think, also said that. I understand that. But I'm wanting to give a vlog to everybody and not just to some. So I will mix it up. But I guess I'll be back if he does some other, depending on, I'm sure I'll be back. How long did I stay away from it? 11 days. So you had 11 days rest. I hope that was good enough for you. And unusually, I'll end the vlog with what's going on for us rather than starting with that. It's Friday, it's 9:30. I had a bloody awful night. I don't know why the fire had got really hot. We'd got the curtains open, but it was still in this room, 25, and that was with all of the heat being allowed upstairs to heat all along the corridor, all through into the kitchen, really hot. And our bedroom, which used to get quite warm, doesn't get so warm now, but I think it had. And so that was hot, and I was hot, and I can't sleep when I'm hot. So I'd opened the window to let air in to try and cool it, but I couldn't cool down. But I think that there is something hibernating by the fire in the corner. There's a couple of places where I think there's somebody hibernating in the corner behind me. It's not anything like it used to be, so that's fine. I can't stop stuff getting in through the walls. But whoever was hibernating was also too hot. So there was lots of scurrying going on overnight, and scurrying back and scurrying and scurrying. And I just was so disturbed by it. So I've had a shit night. And this was going around in my head, this vlog. And so that was that. So that's 9:30. Mark's still in bed. I've still got the shutters closed. It's still below zero out there. And I might open the shutters in a minute, but I won't go down until Mark's up. I won't go down to the chickens because I don't want to find myself slipped over and dying of hypothermia. And we are going to Chauvigny this afternoon I've got parcels to send back, and I might do a little bit of secret shopping. It's his birthday tomorrow, so I might leave him somewhere with a cup of coffee and go off and see what I can find. I bought something for his birthday, but I'm not happy about it. And we don't do birthdays really, but it's his birthday tomorrow. He's going to be, I keep forgetting how old he's going to be. Yeah, it's going to be that. It's going to be an uneven number. So I'm guessing he's going to be 77. Going to be 77. Yeah, that sounds about right, because we're about 7.5 years apart in age. 77 tomorrow. And I've booked us a table at Le Gaston in Chauvigny. So we're back there again tomorrow evening. So that's that. So that's what's going on with us. And thanks for watching. And might see you with a calmer vlog next time. Take care.